大谷翔平が活躍する本拠地、ドジャースタジアムの大規模改修工事が予定通り進行中です。この改修には1億ドルが投じられています。ドジャースのスタン・カステン社長兼 CEO は、施設をアップグレードし、最先端の設備を導入することにより、球場は以前よりも 30% 拡大し、クラブハウスの面積は 40% 増加します。時代の要求に応じて選手たちのニーズに対応するための改善です、と述べました。さらにカステン氏は施設の配置変更についても触れ、その変更がなされた背景には、ベッツが大谷に向けて述べた一言が話題となっているため、日本語字幕をつけて紹介します。
And once again, I think we will be state of the art. It's going to be a clubhouse that's 30% bigger than it was. The locker room itself is 40% bigger. Every element of the locker room is bigger. Funny, we had to move the quiet rooms, the restful sleeping rooms to the other side of the locker room because Mookie said the one that he used last year, he kept being awakened by Shohei in the batting cage. So we had to change the geography inside our clubhouse. I told Mookie the other day, he'll be able to sleep perfectly fine now.
I love it.
And yes, we have an extra batting cage. So we did a lot of those kinds. Every space we have is larger, more meeting rooms, things like that. I think we're state of the art again until, 5 or 10 years from now. And then we'll see.
Right.
I'm going to try and do a little positivity first. Let's talk about a couple players that are coming back. So I'll start with Shohei Ohtani. I don't think there's any past precedent on what he's dealing with. So I'll let you handle how he returns from a second elbow surgery to pitch and to maintain his incredible hitting prowess.
Yeah, that's the thing. He should be comeback player of the year, but can you be a comeback player if you didn't go away? Obviously he's kind of two versions. So the hitting version, pretty good. Pitching version, also pretty good, but we've never had this kind of thing. I do think Mark Pryor had a great point the other day in that he was saying it's not like he was pitching last year, but he was rehabbing. And the rehabbing so regimented, you have to do all these things. You have to get in your work every single day. And he did that. So it's not like pitching and hitting is unusual for him. He's done it for years. What's unusual is being able to do it at the same time and the type of surgery he has, which is still something of a mystery. Dr. Neil Elitrash for the Dodgers still hasn't told exactly what he did. And with these augmented elbow reconstructions, let alone a revision, we just don't have a lot of data to work on. Everything so far has looked really positive. So I'm curious about the timeline. I'm curious how they're going to work it in with Clayton Kershaw coming back, but starting on the 60-day. I'm just not sure how they're going to put things together, whether it's a 5-man or a 6-man. I just know that what we've seen from Ohtani means everything is online with that rehab. If he were just a pitcher, we'd be talking about how good he looks rather than what an unusual case he is.
Okay, we don't know what he had. I want to know how slow are they going to have to take it, and then who's going to be back to full strength quicker, Ohtani pitching or Acuna and his knee? Because the Braves have said they're going to take it slow. The Dodgers have said they're going to take it slow with Ohtani. So who do you think will be back to 100% more rapidly?
Well, do we get 200% out of Ohtani? I think with Ohtani, they're not just taking it slow, they're taking it ridiculously slow. We know it was an augmented procedure, and that internal brace is supposed to get you back faster. We've seen over and over in other sports, European soccer, these guys are coming back from ankle surgery in weeks. Even in baseball, if you remember when Mike Trout popped his thumb, we've had guys going all the way back to Dustin Pedroia. It used to be 6 to 8 weeks. Now it's 3 to 4 because of that augmented UCL. Same thing in the elbow, but we're not getting guys back faster because we're using a rehab that was designed in 1974. Frank Jobe came up with it. Mike Marshall tweaked it a little bit. Kevin Wilk has done a lot of good to it, but this 18-month time frame is ridiculous for something that was supposed to do it back. So I don't think they're taking it slow. They're taking it ridiculously slow.
One key contributor to their winning last year was Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, historical season, 50-50. He's coming into a year where he's going to be pitching. First time he's done that in a Dodgers uniform. What can we expect from him this year? And where's he at in terms of pitching? When can we expect him on the mound? I know he just threw his bullpen, or first bullpen of the spring yesterday, I think. So where are things at with that?
Yeah, so, it sounds like everything, like he's recovered well after that first bullpen. Dave Roberts said that, by the end of spring, he could be facing hitters potentially. Wasn't sure if, he'd be doing up downs or if it would be just kind of one like simulated inning, let's say, of live BP. But, if he gets to that point by the end of spring, he's in a pretty good spot. Still expected to be on the mound sometime in May. I would kind of guess maybe earlier in the month rather than later. And that's only because they've now talked about going with the 5-man rotation until Ohtani is ready to join again. And they have a lot more off days in April than in May. So a little less like flexibility. But that's still kind of up in the air. And then as for what to expect from him, it's almost not fair to expect him to be like the best that he's been because, second major elbow surgery and off-season throwing program delayed. There's just so many factors in there, but I think there's no reason to believe that he can't kind of get back to that elite level from the past. I think maybe a theme with him from this season might be he'll just need some extra time, whether it's more days off than he quite frankly probably wants or just has had in the past. But I feel like there's a really good chance that he does find his best form at some point. It might just take some time.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of the whole Ohtani situation, one of the interesting things is that, each time that he's come off a major, pitching injury, he got to rehab and do everything traditionally in the offseason. This year, it's kind of taking him into the regular season. Has there been any word about what they're particularly going to do when he's ready to face hitters and say potentially take a rehab assignment? Because I figured the Dodgers are going to want him to stay in the lineup and not go out to, AAA or AA to get some innings there. Is there any sort of plan Dave Roberts, Andrew Freeman, Brandon Gomes has alluded to? I know backfields could probably be a thing, before, before night games at Dodger Stadium. Is that kind of the idea that they're working with here with Ohtani, at least right now?
Yeah, so Mark Pryor recently has said that the way he sees it, it'll probably be simulated games for now. And I think that's kind of all that they can do if they're, completely serious about not wanting him to pitch in the Cactus League, which that would be really fast, with him throwing his first bullpen over the weekend if he were then pitching before they leave for Tokyo. But yeah, if there's no Cactus League, no rehab assignment, then I think, sim games is going to have to be the way to go. Still not exactly sure how they'll manage that, and I'm not sure that they're certain either. I think a lot of this is kind of just uncharted territory. No one's really.
There's never been an Ohtani. So it seems like every year it's a different story, a different way. I would hate to be in the situation Roberts is in, just because it's like you have to manage the player, have his best interests, but Ohtani, the competitor, is going to want to be out there. I remember earlier in the offseason, he said, no, I want to pitch in Tokyo. And it seems like the Dodgers said, we're going to shoot that down. We'll get you in May.